Fight! First-person shooters have changed. They went from being that thing dorks do to being just as much a part of a guy's night as going to see The Game or getting sloshed enough to run for mayor of Toronto. And there's one game franchise that we have to blame for that. Call of Duty, one of the most successful video game franchises of all time. And where better to put it than on one of the most successful game consoles of all time, the Wii. Brace yourself for Call of Duty Modern Warfare as you've never seen it before. Unless you have.
The Call of Duty series is a ruddy great big gaming behemoth, the modern gold standard for first-person shooters whether you want it to be or not. The series started off with humble roots as one of about 1 billion FPS games set during the Second World War and now comprises almost 24 titles with stories set across various time periods over the last century and beyond.
But no one's playing Call of Duty for the story. That's a bit like eating a Twinkie for the nutritional value. No, the most popular and successful aspect of these games is the online multiplayer.
An estimated 40 million people play Call of Duty online each month, making Call of Duty a more popular online pastime than Mario Kart, Monopoly, and masturbation.
That's right, statistically speaking, right now, someone you know is either playing Call of Duty or shaking hands with Mr. Wang. Frankly, I don't know which one disgusts me more.
It was the record-breaking success of Modern Warfare, the fourth game in the core series and the first one where the developers realised that going to other countries to shoot people in the face with assault rifles didn't just happen between 1939 and 1945, that catapulted the series into the mainstream, leading to a sequel of its own, the first in a trend that would turn the Call of Duty series into a Russian nesting doll of sequels within sequels.
But released at the same time as the sequel was a brand new port of the first game. You know where I'm going with this. It's Call of Duty Modern Warfare for the Wii, and it's shit.
Saying that a Call of Duty game is shit is a bit like calling a duck's ass wet, but the Wii port of Modern Warfare is especially shit for a number of reasons, chief among them being that you have to use the Wii remote and nunchuck controller, controls that have shown to be less than ideal for first-person shooters. If you want to use a Classic Controller Pro or the GameCube controller for this one, you're shit out of luck as the game does not support them. The developers have tried very, very hard to make the Wiimote controls as painless as possible, adding a number of control settings to fine-tune your experience and land in a comfortable space between slowly lean towards the enemy and stop the world I want to get off, and to their credit, movement is for the most part nice and slick. The real problem lays in the button configuration.
The controller layout doesn't have a lot going for it. Reloading is intuitive at least, you just shake the nunchuck like a twat, and the A button performs a variety of functions from interacting with objects to sprinting. But if you want to throw a grenade or a flashbang, you have to press the minus or plus buttons. If you want to do a melee attack, you have to press down on the D-pad, and if you want to pause the game, you've got to press the 1 button all the way at the bottom of the controller. It's not particularly intuitive or useful, and it's very easy to forget which button you're supposed to press when the time comes to use them.
The controls aren't the only hindrance in the single-player campaign either. Enemy soldiers frequently display dazzling acts of stupidity, from pointing and shooting at walls to running right up to you and staring at you for several seconds, as if they wanted to ask you a question but can't quite remember what it was.
It's a bit frustrating, particularly if you're the sort of person who's genuinely interested in Modern Warfare's tale of a superhuman with regenerative powers escorting a band of soldiers through a field so that they can shoot people who presumably have children and families. But if you're more interested in taking your wiggle-waggle warfare online, then there's good news, because there is online on this version of Modern Warfare, and it's surprisingly still active in 2014.
There are quite a few people playing Modern Warfare Online using the Wii and its shitty controls, which is astounding by itself, but even more surprising, in my experience at least, is how few of these people are using mods and hacks to artificially enhance their performance. The Wii is a notoriously easy-to-mod console, and it's not difficult to get hacks, cheats and mods, or even to trick the console into thinking you've already paid for DLC you don't own, yet Modern Warfare's online community on the Wii is apparently made up of a rather honest bunch of folk, people who genuinely enjoy playing the game for the fun of it.
Of course, there's no voice chat, so for all I know, the other players are sitting in front of their televisions loudly speculating about my mother's bedroom habits. That's probably it, actually. They're not honest, they're stupid. They don't know that they can hack their consoles, and they don't know I can't hear them. What a bunch of fucking morons.
If it is multiplayer you're after, then I hope you're only interested in playing with people who aren't in the same room as you, because for some reason this version of the game features no local play, which is a bit of a large oversight when you remember that the defining characteristic of the Wii is its ability to bring people together. In fact, Modern Warfare isn't keen on the idea of letting more than one person play the game at all, even in single player mode. It does have a profile feature allowing multiple saves, but it doesn't ask you which profile you want to choose when you launch the game, meaning it's all too easy to pick up where someone else left off, or even worse, overwrite their save data.
Although considering the story in Modern Warfare is about as enjoyable as a fart with a lump in it, you'd really just be doing them a favour.
Onto the graphics then, and obviously the game is nowhere near as visually arresting as its console brethren. The original Modern Warfare may look dated now, but at the time it was really something. Squeezing everything onto the Wii, a system only marginally more powerful than the original Xbox, hasn't done it any favours, resulting in ugly models, less detailed maps with harsh edges, simplified textures, and of course a reduced screen resolution. Buying Modern Warfare on the Wii is a bit like choosing to buy Saving Private Ryan on VHS when you have an HD TV and a perfectly serviceable Blu-ray player sitting in your living room.
Ultimately, Modern Warfare Reflex Edition is another example of an ambitious port, albeit one where the financial interests took front and centre. Why not release a commercially successful game on a commercially successful console? The answer, of course, is that she cannot take it, Captain, she's breaking up! Sorry about the accent there, but the point stands, it's a wonky port and it doesn't work.
Call of Duty Black Ops would be ported to the Wii the following year, released simultaneously with the other consoles, and Modern Warfare 3 would also get the same treatment, leaving the second game in the Modern Warfare series in Wii limbo. And while both games support the classic controller, they still lack local multiplayer. In 2010, we'd also get Bond of Duty Golden Warfare, a half-baked retelling of Pierce Brosnan's James Bond debut, featuring Daniel Craig in the role of Bond, and the Call of Duty game engine in the role of Crushing Disappointment. This one would later get ported to the PS3 and the 360 as GoldenEye Reloaded, with improved graphics and unimproved everything else. But both versions have local multiplayer, so that's not too bad, eh?
So that's it, our first episode of Season 2. I've been told that some episodes of the show ended rather abruptly last year, and I always believe in listening to constructive criticism. So this year, I'll be making more of an effort to